You think Montgomery, New Jersey is just the quieter side of Princeton. That's the polite version. The real version is a lot more interesting and a lot more important if you're actually thinking about moving here. Montgomery is one of the most rapidly transformed, statistically elite, and quietly under-discussed suburbs in the entire country. We're talking 39% of the town locked up as permanent open space. Schools that outscore the New Jersey state average by nearly double. And a demographic shift so dramatic that NBC News literally called it the fastest growing Asian suburb in America. And here's the part that bugs me. Nobody is telling you any of this on the listing site, the showing, or the brokerage tour. So today, we're going to fix that. I'm Jan Michael with the JMR team at Real Broker, and I cover Somerset County for buyers who are tired of being sold the brochure version of these towns. Today, I'm walking you through 8 things about Montgomery, that's Skillman, Belle Mead, Blawenburg, and Harlingen, that almost no one is willing to break down. Honestly, before you write an offer. Some of these points will make you want to move here yesterday. Some of them will make you pause and think hard about your budget. All of it is verified, sourced from government sites, official MLS data, the U.S. Census, and major news outlets, and current as of 2026. And I'll tell you up front, stick with me through point number 8 because it's a piece of local history hiding in plain sight that genuinely surprised me when I dug into it. It explains a lot about why Montgomery feels the way it does when you actually drive through it. Let's start where every smart buyer starts, which is price. The April 2026 local market update from New Jersey Realtors puts Montgomery's single-family median sale price at $955,080. The year-to-date median sits at $953,000, up 3.6% year over year. Now zoom in on the speed. Homes here are closing at 103.2% of list price in just 30 days on market. That's a town where sellers are getting over asking and buyers are still moving fast enough to lock things up in a month. Here's what that means practically. You're getting the Princeton school halo. You're getting a Princeton Junction adjacent commute, and you're paying meaningfully less than you'd pay inside Princeton Borough. But the spread between those two markets is narrowing every single quarter. Thinking about relocating to New Jersey? Well, I've got just the thing for you. My team and I have actually taken the time to create the ultimate relocation guide, which is meant to save you hours of research. And I've linked it down below, from top employers to the best hospitals and a boatload of other things that you need to know before making the move. The best part is, this guide's 100% free. That's right. You heard me right. 100% free. Just click the link in the description or the top pinned comment. I've watched it tighten in real time over the last 12 months. So if you've been sitting on the sidelines waiting for prices to come back down in Montgomery, the verified MLS data doesn't support that story. The market is telling you the opposite. Inventory is tight. Demand is strong, and the discount you assume you'll get versus Princeton is shrinking, not growing. Here's the one nobody mentions on the showing, and I think that's a mistake because once you understand it, the entire town makes more sense. According to U.S. Census data, Montgomery is now 44.2% Asian and 45.8% white. For context, in the year 2000, Montgomery was only 11.5% Asian. By 2010, that number had climbed to 25.6%. Today, the Asian community is essentially co-equal in size with the white community. That's not a slow demographic shift. That's a generational transformation, and it's driven overwhelmingly by Indian and Chinese families moving in for one specific reason: the schools. NBC News did a full feature on this exact phenomenon in 2024, calling Montgomery the fastest growing Asian suburb in the country. What that means for you practically, if you're moving here, the restaurants are better and more diverse than what you'd expect from a Somerset County township of this size. The grocery options will surprise you. The academic culture inside the schools is intense, and we'll get to the numbers in a minute. And the cultural fabric of the town is genuinely international in a way that the listing photos and the agent script will never convey. If you value diversity in the places you live, Montgomery delivers at a level very few New Jersey suburbs can match. This is the one I really wish more buyers understood before they fell in love with a specific house here. Per the township's own growth and land use overview, more than 8,000 acres, about 39% of Montgomery's total land, is permanently preserved as open space or farmland. That's paid for through a dedicated municipal open space tax plus state and county programs. Let me put that in plain terms. Nearly 4 out of every 10 acres in Montgomery cannot be developed, ever. That's not, we have a few nice parks. That is a structural decision the town made decades ago and continues to fund every single year through your tax bill. It is the reason your backyard might literally back up to a working farm, a forest, or a preserve. It's the reason when you drive Route 518 through town, you see horse pastures and silos instead of strip malls. And from a pure real estate standpoint, it's the reason new construction here is severely constrained, which directly props up your home value over time. Scarcity is locked in by law. That's a very different bet than buying in a town that could approve a 400-unit townhouse development next year and crash your view. Now layer this on top of point 3. The Sourland Mountain Preserve sits right against Montgomery and stretches across Hillsborough and Hopewell. Over 6,300 contiguous acres of protected forest. It protects the headwaters of the DNR Canal, the Millstone, the Raritan, and the Delaware rivers. And it provides habitat for more than 100 species of migratory birds. Here's the part I find genuinely strange. I grew up around here, and I can tell you most people in North Jersey have never set foot in the Sourland. They've never even heard the name. For Montgomery residents, it's a 10-minute trailhead drive, boulder fields, old quarries, some of the best hiking in the state. It's the kind of quiet luxury people pay a premium for and then never actually use. But the option being there shapes the entire feel of the town. You're not just buying a house, you're buying access to 6,300 acres of contiguous forest that most of New Jersey doesn't even know exists. Now we get to the engine that drives everything else. Per Niche's 2026 data, Montgomery Township School District scores 74% math proficiency and 71% reading proficiency. The New Jersey state averages are just 38% and 49%. So Montgomery is roughly double the state in both subjects. The district holds an A+ overall grade. The high school posts a 97% graduation rate, and the class of 2026 produced 11 national merit semifinalists and 71 commended students. Let me translate those numbers because they're easy to gloss over. 11 national merit semifinalists in a single graduating class puts Montgomery in the same conversation as some of the most competitive private prep schools in the state. The math proficiency number, 74% versus 38% statewide, isn't just above average, it's nearly double the state average. That's not a highly rated district. That is a district consistently producing measurable national tier outcomes year after year. It is the single biggest engine driving home prices in this town. It is the reason families from all over the world are willing to pay a premium to plant their kids here. And it directly explains the demographic transformation we covered in point 2. For years, the knock on Montgomery has been great town, weak retail base. If you've ever house hunted here, you've probably said it yourself. That story is about to change in real time. 292,000 square foot Montgomery Promenade on Route 206 in Skillman is anchored by Whole Foods. The first phase, about 165,000 square feet, is fully leased, and businesses are beginning to open in summer 2026, with the full center unveiled by fall. Roughly 40 tenants are coming in. We're talking Shake Shack, Panera, Buffalo Wild Wings, Ulta Beauty, Robinson's Ale House, European Wax Center. A real mix of fast casual, sit-down, dining, beauty, and fitness. Here's the practical takeaway for buyers. If you're house hunting in Montgomery in late 2026 and you close on a home here, you're walking into a town with materially more amenities than the people who bought here even 2 years ago. The weak retail complaint is on its last legs, and historically, when a Whole Foods opens in a town, the homes within a few miles of it see a measurable bump in value over the following years. Now the hard truth. Montgomery's tax bill is real, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. But here's what nobody actually breaks down for you, and I think it changes how you should think about the number on the tax bill. The municipal portion of your Montgomery tax bill is only about 16%. The school district accounts for roughly 68%, and the county takes the remaining 16%. The 2025 municipal rate rose 2.89% to 48 cents per $100 of assessed value. That added about $70 to the average homeowner's annual bill. $70. That's it for the municipal piece. So when someone complains about Montgomery taxes, and trust me, they will, at every dinner party in town, What they're really paying for is the elite school district we covered in point 5. You don't get one without the other. If you're considering Montgomery for the schools, you are by definition also signing up for the tax bill that funds them. The two are mathematically linked. Going in with that mindset shifts the conversation from taxes to this is what I'm buying. Here's the local history piece I promised, and it's genuinely wild. The 247-acre Skillman Park, the one with the paved 2.25 mile loop, the leash-free dog run, the chess tables at the trailhead, was originally the New Jersey State Village for Epileptics, opened in 1898, later became the North Developmental Center, and for nearly 100 years, it operated as a fully self-sufficient town with its own hospitals, farms, schools, theater, power plant, even cemeteries on site. It closed in 1998. Montgomery sold the parcel to Somerset County in 2011. Demolition of the old village wrapped in 2012, and today the site is one of the most loved public spaces in the entire town. When you walk that paved loop on a Sunday morning, and you will if you live here, you're literally walking on top of a piece of New Jersey history almost no one talks about anymore. It's the kind of detail that makes Montgomery feel layered, real, and rooted in a way that newer New Jersey suburbs simply can't fake.
Hey guys, it's Jan. As much as I love making these videos, there's one thing I love more, and that's helping families and people from all over the US make the move here to New Jersey. I've helped countless families make the move. So whether you're coming out next week or next month or even next year, don't hesitate to reach out. My contact information is right here on the screen and linked in the description in case you missed the on-screen pop-up. I look forward to helping you and your family make the move to New Jersey.
Pull all 8 points back together, and here's the honest picture of Montgomery. The wins are stacked. Elite schools, structurally protected open space, a Princeton adjacent location with a real but shrinking price discount, a Whole Foods anchored retail center opening this summer, and a community that has quietly become one of the most diverse and economically dynamic in the state. The trade-offs are real too. The tax bill is heavy. The retail base is still mid-build until the promenade fully opens this fall, and inventory is tight enough that single-family homes are closing at 103.2% of list price in 30 days. Montgomery isn't for everyone, but if you value schools, land, and long-term value stability, the verified data here is hard to argue with. If you're seriously thinking about Montgomery, Skillman, Belle Mead, Blawenburg, or Harlingen, I put together a free Somerset County relocation guide that breaks down every town in this area by price, schools, taxes, and commute side by side. Comment Montgomery below this video and I'll send it over. Next, watch my deep dive comparing Belle Mead and the Princeton suburbs. Link is in the description below, because choosing between these towns is a much bigger decision than any listing site will lead you to believe. I'm Jan Michael, the JMR team at Real Broker. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.